И снова мы на нашем, но уже, к сожалению, последнем виртуальном уроке, на виртуальном конгрессе.
And again, we are in a virtual lesson. And now in Hebrew. Again, we are in the lesson, the final lesson of this Congress. It's a very important lesson. It seals our way forward. This lesson is called A Covenant of Salt. This is something very interesting. From the perspective of the Creator, there is no covenant. It's a force. The Creator is a force. You connect to it like you connect to electricity, or to other natural forces. And you use them. You use Him. Or it. If you can, connect. If you can't, don't connect. This force operates. It's got its own plan, and it affects everyone. If we want to connect to it and go along with His plan, according to His plan, then we can move nicely and well toward His purpose, which for us is the purpose of life, the purpose of creation. And then we can use this force. Just imagine you are in a river that flows. You can go along with the current or go against it, or maybe not go exactly in the direction of the current. So a covenant means that we know how to use the force of nature, the force of the Creator, which, and according to its nature, we advance. It is written about it. Habash writes about it. You stand today, all of you, meaning today you are entering a covenant. Of course, it's a matter of by our own agreement. So we have to learn what is the covenant of the salt and how we enter the covenant. The arvut between us. A covenant, by covenant he means we are in arvut. That each one wants to help the others, all of us to each other, and then by the common force, our united common force, we can use the power of the Creator. And in this way, each one, through everyone's love, is included with everyone. And by this we become one system, as one man with one heart. By this, we can create such power, such a network of connection between us that we will succeed in achieving life's purpose very quickly. I'm asking, please disconnect the Los Angeles group from my screen, from my monitor. They're only confusing me with how they're sitting. Put some other group instead of them, please. Thank you. So my first question is, what does it mean that we are now
להיכנס לברית.
trying to
כוח אנחנו משתמשים.
come into the covenant. What force are we using? What do we need in order to create this force, to establish it, to bring it out, to extract it from nature?
הכוח הזה.
Why do we need this force? How should it help us and for what? Go ahead. This is the first question. Go ahead. Good luck.
Reasons, but primarily, I would say as a reminder to us of why we study, the purpose of our work, and the importance of having a group that we can rely on to support us in the study.
It's also very important to understand that we are incapable of doing anything. We need the Creator in this.
And that force is our food. That's the energy that make us move forward. Without it, we are nothing.
Exactly. This force, this arvut, is something that we can only get with prayer.
Our teachers tell us that we can go by the path of Torah or we can go by the path of pain. Better to go by Torah.
And also when we, practice the way that we do or study the way that we do, we're actually inviting the upper force or that force of nature into our connection. That force actually, when we start to work with it, it starts to work with us.
It's in our nature, and we are a manifestation of this force. It's part of us.
We need the force of the Creator, and we need the force of the ten, the force of a covenant, an agreement.
And this force keeps us tied to the friends, keeps us tied to spiritual development.
And the spiritual development is all about our connection. It's all about uniting our hearts. It's all about feeling each other. It's all about revealing that in that feeling that we feel for each other, there is a special, I don't know how to say it. There's something special about that we can call the Creator, because that's something special is that force that make us be one friend, be one single soul, be one man, be one heart. And that's what we're trying to reach.
And He's here and He dwells between us in the connection. We don't see it. It's okay. That doesn't mean that He's not performing His action as we do ours from below upward, because we're His representatives.
Once you agree on something as a group and you sign your name to it, and then you have an obligation, and we hold each other to that obligation. And the obligation is that we are here specifically as students in a school or a laboratory, and the goal is to seek Him out and to learn to bestow to Him. And if we have that obligation to each other, then that is enough to sustain us through this study, through this work.
And yet in our work, we still need to really, truly understand that nothing will happen unless we make an effort. As long as we follow the instructions and the guidance of the Kabbalist, we will be capable of doing this, but we have to implement this effort on our own, as an individual and as a group.
Yeah, that force is the language of the Creator, is the way of speaking to us.
כותב רבש,
To know ourselves.
כותב רבש, עד שאדם לא זוכה
Rabash writes, until a person is rewarded with permanent faith, meaning the power of bestowal. This is the power of faith. Permanently, he is in ascents and descents. And the love can cool. Therefore, now, in the beginning of the work, where we are, each one should take upon himself a commitment to be in a covenant by making a covenant. Whether I want to be in this sublime work of mutual bestowal, or I disagree. When I obligate myself to immerse myself in work for the sake of everyone else. So everyone will have a sense, meaning a desire to advance. Afterwards, there is no desire to advance. Sometimes he has a serious mood, sometimes not so much. And likewise, everyone, like kids, when they dance in a circle, someone jumps up, another one bends down, and likewise everyone. So we commit that each one who has a moment to jump up and be in the air, he pledges to jump for everyone. In a descent, of course, we can't be responsible for one another, but in an ascent, we can be responsible. So let's agree now between us in the tens that you're sitting in, that each one, with all the powers that he has, wants to maintain the 10 so it stays in the air. What does it mean in the air? In connection with the Creator, excitement, moving toward the goal. Go ahead. Let's try to understand what is that state of the covenant that we are speaking of between us. And again, I'm saying each one feels that he's a little higher than the ground, that he's in the air. He wants to keep everyone and pass on to everyone that spirit that he can attain from above. Alertness, importance, attraction to the goal, connection between them. Likewise, those who are below, those who are above, everyone benefits from the covenant. So, let's agree. Let's summarize. Let's talk about this general situation that we have. Go ahead.
Воодушевляет, продвигает и действительно может дать максимальный результат достижения цели.
Да, я пропустил немножко вопрос. I missed the question.
Договариваться о состоянии, договариваться о союзе. Что это значит? Это значит пробовать уже нащупывать.
We need to decide between us what it means to be in this covenant. We need to scrutinize what are we missing in order to come a little closer between us. Where do we need to invest more strength? We know if in the workshop, if someone gets stuck a little bit, then we immediately help him and the person continues. And the same thing in the covenant. We have to gradually decide between us, just like we collected these 5, 6 principles from the world clear, we simply have to take them, scrutinize them. We wrote about it, but we have to clarify it so each one of us will feel what it is exactly.
Right. First and foremost, we have to scrutinize what it is and pass it on to the 10. So you have the importance and you can pass it on.
Yeah, with a great deal of attention and awe, trepidation. Pay attention to the state of the friends in order to support them and receive help and participate in the Creator's game with all you have.
To use this sphere in order to create a common view. On one hand, to take off our gloves, and on the other hand, acquire this fear for the friends.
From what I understood, each one is trying to take care of the 10 with everything he's got, to ask for the friends, for the 10, to care about the connection, the unity, the love, meaning each one is responsible for everyone. And discuss it. How does it work? Each time to add something.
Yeah, we agree that we agree on this covenant when we are in ascent. On one hand, we try to annul before the friend. On the other hand, we try to feel him and merge with him as much as possible.
So I understood that this covenant is not between people. Covenant between people is something transient, temporary. Rather, it's a covenant between man and the Creator. This is something completely different. If this is a covenant, then in any case, it's a covenant between the Creator and men. And you have to know the state, what, whom.
אנחנו ניצבים היום
Ну,
Okay.
כותב רבש כך,
Rabash writes
בזמן
this.
שאדם מרגיש אהבה,
When a person feels
Rabash
love,
writes. Rabash writes.
כדאי לעזוב אהבות אחרות.
when a person feels the love of the Creator, he understands that he should leave other loves. But when
אז הוא מתלהב,
the
וכשהאהבה
love awakens, he is excited. And when the love passes away,
נטייה
he doesn't feel the inclination to the Creator, to the group, to the friends.
אז הוא רוצה לחזור לאהבות אחרות.
And then he wants to go back to other loves, previous loves, the things he used to love in life,
כדאי לעזוב
which he's already decided that he should leave them and be only in the inclination to spirituality, to eternity, to something that doesn't pass, that he should leave it. And suddenly he decides, no, this life also has something to enjoy, something to do.
נע ונד.
So he moves about, either to spirituality or to corporeality.
וכאן בזמן
And here,
שהוא יורד,
when he comes down from the spiritual love,
אז הוא צריך לקיים את הברית.
then he should keep the covenant.
כמו שזה היה אצלו
Meaning what?
שהיה
Just as it was for him during the ascent,
להיות גם עכשיו בזמן הירידה.
it should be now during the descent as well. But how can this be? We see, it's impossible.
אפשר לעשות.
So what can he do?
אפשר לעשות רק דבר אחד.
There's only one thing we can do.
יחד בינינו,
If we agree
שכל
between us
הוא דואג לכולם,
that each one
והעירייה.
sees to everyone in the 10,
אפילו שאני יורד,
then even if I
חברים,
come down,
מחזיקים אותי.
the friends hold me.
וכשאני עולה,
And
אני משתדל
when I rise,
כמה שיותר
I try as much as possible
לרוח
to
את הקבוצה.
inflate the group with spirit, each and every one. If we don't do this, we will not be connected. There will not be a constant spirit within us.
איזה מדרגה רוחנית, רוחנית נקרא שאנחנו
We won't have any spiritual degree, and spiritual means
מעל הגובה.
that we rise above the level,
בוא ככה,
say,
זה הקרקע.
so this is the ground.
אנחנו צריכים להתעלות,
We have to
להתעלות מעליה.
rise above it.
ברור?
Clear?
אנחנו צריכים להתעלות מעליה.
We have to rise above it.
זהו. הפער
The gap
בין
between
הרמה הזאת ורמה
this level and that level
זה בדיוק
is exactly
הגובה הרוחני.
the spiritual height.
מתי זה יכול להיות?
When can this be?
כולנו, כאן אנחנו
When all of us, here we are 10,
מתי שאנחנו
when all of us hold each other. So even though one is in decline, right?
שהוא נמצא ב...
Let's say he's in decline, he's in a descent.
אז לידו נמצא
So next to him, there's someone in an ascent.
באיזה ירידה.
And likewise, someone is in a descent, and another one is in ascent.
בסך הכל
And all together, we
הגובה הזה.
come up to that level.
זה נקרא שקבוצה עולה.
This is called the group ascending, meaning it always has some who are going down and some who are going up.
וכאן השאלה שלי.
And here comes my question. Maybe you can answer this question. What's the benefit from
יש כמה בקבוצה,
having several in the group who are in a descent? Would it be better if everyone,
כולם היינו בעלייה,
if all of us were
ועל ידי זה
in an ascent, and by this we would ascend? What's the benefit for the group
חברים נמצאים
when several people are always in a descent and we have to seemingly pick them up, lift them, pull them up, not let them
בבקשה.
drop, quit? Go ahead.
По сути говоря, мы знаем, что у каждого идет работа в подъемах и падениях.
We know that everyone is going through ascents and descents, ups and downs. And if we would all be in a descent at the same time, how could we come up? So the system is built in such a way that these ascents and descents are given intermittently, so that the friend sees my investment, and if I am in a descent, he prays for me, and the reverse is also true. So each one of us feels ascents and descents, and I have a chance to pray for the friend when he's in a descent.
Yeah. In this way, there's a balance of powers in the group, and it gives you room for work.
Подниматься, да, то есть есть от чего отталкиваться и двигаться дальше.
Yeah, there's what to rise above, to overcome. This something to work towards and develop.
Потому что мы имеем возможность именно видеть.
And it's preferred, since then I have the opportunity to see what I'm rejected from.
Yeah, but we have to walk on two legs. So if we didn't have a sense, I guess we wouldn't be able to walk on the middle line and advance.
It's clear that without falls, there's no sense. Without the sense, there's no sense, because you have to invest many forces to help a friend in the descent.
Yeah, it's a special agreement between the friends, and it saves you. You can even say that egoistically you're making a covenant and you know it's going to help you. But when the time for implementing comes, you have to do it with different vessels. You have to bestow in different vessels. And here lies the problem. And for this, we need the power of the group to support you. So first and foremost, I need to take it upon myself to care for everyone.
In such a way, some balance happens in the group. When some of the friends are in minus and some in a plus state, it's a wonderful state of balance. Equilibrium, meaning the group is in equivalence with the law of the Creator.
Rav, if a person were alone and not in the group, how would he be able to ascend? He's in a decline. And no one can raise him. As it is written, a prisoner cannot free himself from imprisonment. But precisely when he is a descent, the friend saves him, picks him up. Then the friend is in a descent, and he saves him. And likewise, everyone climbs and climbs and climbs. Some down, some up, some are down, some are up. So, when the Creator reveals an additional will to receive, constantly more and more and more, he doesn't show it to everyone in the group. Those who get the additional will to receive fall, and by that, those who participate with them and elevate them, pick them out of prison, they rise. So this is how it turns out, that each one through the other. And then the group is constantly like one body walking on two legs. Like we are climbing up degrees, 1, 2, 3, a leg here and a leg there, and this is how we rise. But that's on condition that we are in a arvut and in a covenant of salt. So we don't leave the friends. On the contrary, we understand that this is the progress. Some go up, some go down, some go up, some go down. And the Creator plays with us and gives us a chance for a arvut, for a covenant. And precisely by this we ascend. And one person cannot do it. He doesn't have someone next to him to save him, to pick him out of prison each time from the growing ego. So the Creator gives him an additional ego, and who will pick him up? Who will pick him up? Therefore, if we don't make a covenant between us, we cannot do anything. This is why it's so important for us to be in a covenant, and in such a covenant that we constantly follow the 10. I constantly look at them, how they are, how I should tend to them, because by that I ascend. This is my work. I have no other work other than to see that the friends, those who are fallen a little bit, will rise up, and those who are fallen will rise up, and this is how we rise together. So we all thank the Creator for the ups and the downs, those in descents and those in ascents. We understand that this is our work, our common work. I go down. When I go down, I know that I have to show everyone that I'm in a descent, right? And by that, it's in some negative way, but I still support those who are in an ascent, and vice versa. Likewise, we all go left, right. Clear? Yes, no? Why are you guys in Orlando laughing at me? All right, so talk about it. Meaning, the spiritual ascent cannot happen unless in a 10. When some of them go down and some go up, like waves in the ocean, right? And by that, everyone climbs up. Everyone climbs up. Go ahead. Talk among yourselves. Make it palpable. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank God for this, you know. I think you guys all see when I go down, everyone notices, and I'm sure it's very clear. And when all of us do, we help and each other, and we grow and we rise, and we must. This is it. This is the whole work. We have to support each other. We have to sustain each other. There's nothing more than this. There's not a righteous person who doesn't sin. We can't stay up, guys. We have to continue. We have to move and do. You know this.
We're building off of each other. We're using each other to climb the ladder, and we use someone else's ascent, and then they come a bit down, but we build on that to discover the next degree, and to remind each other and remember that a friend who's going through descent, that's someone that the Creator, that friend has to go through that descent for us, for our correction. So we should respect that and respect that period, and been more empathetic about that and more grateful about that. Not to blame the friend, but rather to embrace him and thank him for going through that for us, for our benefit.
And then we get a little tiny drop of revelation that it all came from the Creator. And we were told that it came from the Creator. And we start learning and understanding the power of prayer. And look how separated, and obviously we do know that's why we were laughing and smiling, because we did understand that. We did understand the message that came. And because of that, we have an opportunity to grow from that and rise higher.
Yes, and helping the friend is not necessarily trying to make him feel comfortable. It's open a new door. Given the opportunity to bestow, show yourself weak for him to come out of himself and come to help you. Probably that will be the best way to tend the hand to the friend.
And this covenant, this arvut, seems so unnatural, but we work on it, and we come to this place where Mark tells us.
Well, we've been, like, especially this last week, we try and get together 3 times a day, but with the with the Congress happening, different people with different responsibilities, we all couldn't get there. And so, like, sometimes we're a little bit pissed with one another. Sometimes we're encouraged by the work that our friends are doing, and that's how we go.
Come on, people, gather round above this time and space. Come on, people, gather round. Let's find a higher place. Come on, people, gather round. The circle awaits. Come on, people, gather round. Put a smile on your face. Clear your senses, free your mind. Your heart will keep the beat. Let's all sing together. So get up on your feet. Completing the circle, come our way. Completing the circle, unite and play. Completing the circle, let the love shine night and day. Completing the circle, come our way. Completing the circle, unite and play. Completing the circle, let the love shine night and day. Come on, people, gather round above this time and space. Come on, people, gather round. Let's find a higher place. Come on, people, gather round. The circle awaits. Come on, people, gather round. Put a smile on your face. Clear your senses, free your mind. Your heart will keep the beat. Let's all sing together. So get up on your feet. Completing the circle, come our way. Completing the circle, unite and play. Completing the circle, let the love shine night and day. Completing the circle, come our way. Completing the circle, unite and play. Completing the circle, let the love shine night and day. Completing the circle, come our way. Completing the circle, unite and play. Completing the circle, let the love shine night and day. Completing the circle, come our way. Completing the circle, unite and play. Completing the circle, let the love shine night and day.
כריתת ברית.
Signing a covenant, we need to hold on to it, not only during a sense and descent. We have to hold on to the agreement, to the covenant, in a state when the whole group is, let's say, in a state of slumber. There's such a state where nobody has any high spirits, all the tires are flat, everyone is asleep, everything is dead. And then, two, only with the covenant, only by committing in advance. And then we need to forcefully awaken these things, but not towards the state of criticism, but towards an assent. And also, signing a covenant and the covenant, when we awaken with criticism against the friends. I can always see this is wrong and this is wrong, this is not important, this we don't care. They don't know how to keep the order, keep everything clean. They're not coming to duties. They're not doing what needs to be done. I don't want to be in this group. Look at this group. Why do I deserve it? All such thoughts about them, desires, I would just toss them out. How to replace them with something else? I forget that everything comes to me from the Creator, that a person doesn't see the world, but he sees himself. When he changes, he sees everything changing. And the world is always a copy of me. So what to do? To correct myself, and then the world will be corrected. So how do I do it? I cannot correct myself. Rather, if I am in a state of criticism against the others, as much as possible, I just need to show the friends that I need help, and for them to save me from that state, because I cannot save myself from this house of bondage, from prison. So imagine you are in an ascent or a descent, or a state that is unchanging, let's say this critical state. Whatever the state, you have a criticism about the group or about a friend, anything, or maybe the opposite. You appreciate the group and the friends and you love them so much. Are you using correctly the state of descent, the neutral state, and the state of ascent? In each and every state, how do you relate to the group in order to insert into the group whatever you've got that's relevant to advancing towards the Creator together? So what I'm asking of you now, please, is to discuss how each one throughout all the states, ascent, descent, and neutral state, that is completely drying us completely. How do we add our relationship to the group so that the group will be able to advance? Please.
Если есть силы, то
if there is power, then there is strength, and we have to work. If we work from this, then we always somehow influence, if not externally, then internally.
Yeah, the thing is to, over time, come to conscious actions. Maybe not understand, it's impossible. But the Creator, at any given moment, as far as He's concerned, He's creating for us the best possible state. I don't get it now. I don't get it later.
Yeah, I think there's always strength. The Creator gives you the strength. And it's best not to use them in order to satisfy your own ego. But we're built in such a way that we can only receive. But we have to try to acquire this quality of bestowal. And I don't know, maybe somehow add a little bit in bestowal upon the group. Even if I don't feel like it, but we have to try.
Свет проявляется в таких состояниях нейтральных, падениях, подъемах.
Specifically, the quality of bestowal is that which appears in these states, neutral states, ascents, descents. And it's important how we build this chain of cause and effect that appears as the upper force.
In every new state, the friend has to keep connection with the group. Just hold on to the group. It doesn't matter if it's in an ascent or a descent. To create this kind of form. I always thought, why, if there's this warm all the ants pull it, and they're each in its own direction. And specifically by each one pulling it in its own direction, it lifts it up a little bit above the ground, and then you can carry it. Likewise, if each one keeps contact with the group, then the group advances in the right direction.
Yeah, everything depends on the right direction, and it depends on what extent to which we are connected. There are tremendous forces in the group. We have to find them and invest this exertion to place our half a shekel so that the group will continue to advance higher.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's a state of ascent or descent. You have to awaken the friend more and always. And it doesn't matter what state he is in. That's not what things depend on. So, by awakening the 10, by setting an example, we rise along with the 10.
Maybe it depends on the state, but the relationship you have with the group, meaning when you are in the group and you are going through different states, you feel that your whole life are in it. You identify with the group, and you understand that here is the only place where you can advance, and only you can. Just like this ant is pushing, then you can push in any direction.
We just finished one round, and everyone said something, and you can really feel it on your flesh from experience. Ups and downs, and how we work on each other, we influence each other, and maybe we should remember that this process is according to. Still, the Creator gives us the best, and the ups and downs are only love, and we should remember that there's none else besides Him.
Okay, friends, let's hear a song, and for the time being, you prepare questions. We'll be happy to answer them. What we discuss right now is a very important topic. It's clear to us that without the covenant between us, without the arvut between us, we won't be able to advance. We won't be able to receive from the Creator what He's giving, because He's giving to a 10. And then if we respond correctly, where those come up and those come down, and in this way one shall help his friend, and in this way we can advance, and if not, then we can't. So the covenant is a very important thing. To the extent we keep the covenant between us, we are keeping a covenant with the Creator, and that's how we can advance. So you will ask me about what we've just been through, these 4 or 5 questions. And we'll go forward. For the time being, what song? Number 4.
grande sol de amor, solo un clic, un corazón. Around the world, a ray of light is calling people to unite, igniting all the points inside. Let this love be our guide upon the place of your time. A new planet will shine.
There's no sound from Wav.
No sound.
קבוצת טורונטו, בבקשה.
Toronto, please.
First of all, I would like to say hi to whole world Kli. We admire all of you guys who spent a sleepless night, and we just admire you all. We love you very much. And the question is regarding our experience in Toronto group. You know, Toronto group is old group, and we had many cases when our friends are in descent, and we really don't know what to do with them, how to pull them out, how to help them in the most efficient way. Rav, please comment for that.
So the first condition is that each and every person in the world, whatever he's receiving it from the Creator. If he's in a group, then in addition to receiving the ascents and descents, he's taking into consideration that, or rather he's receiving it with respect to the group. And the group has to help a person if there is truly an agreement between them called a covenant. And then the Creator that gives a person the burdening of the heart in spirituality, because they signed it and they decided to go towards adhesion with the Creator, then already the Creator is also with them in the covenant. So it turns out that you have a group and a person and the Creator. And the group has to ask from the Creator for certain treatment of a person. And that's why the Creator is bringing him down in order to cause the group greater connection. And in this way, everyone advances. They can't raise this person from his fall, from his descent. They have no strength. But they can turn to the Creator and they can demand of him to raise this person. And then they receive from the Creator the strength. By that, the importance of the goal grows in the group, the importance of the Creator grows in the group, and the person feels it, and he rejoins the group from his fall. We need to simply work on it. Check how much it works, and you'll see how it works with the strength of all the people who want to help one another. And it's not like they're helping one another. By that, everyone is rising higher and higher above their previous degree, each time more and more. That's the only leverage, that's the only reason, the only means by which the group can ascend, specifically thanks to the descents.
כמו שכתוב, כי מציון תצא תורה.
As it's written, Mitzion tetzeh Torah, from Zion Torah will come out, meaning specifically through these exits. Yetziot, Tzion is from the word Yetziyah, exit. When you pray, when you ask for the forces, for the strength to come out of the descent, from that you extract a new light called Torah. That's the action. That's what we have to do. Now we'll have Kaunas. Kaunas, please.
Если я вижу падение у товарища, это говорит про...
If I see that a friend is in decline, does it mean that I didn't exert enough in connection and I have to correct it through prayer?
Azulas, listen. Everything is corrected by the prayer. We're not going to correct anything in any other way. We don't want to finish or close those things between us. We close certain things between us mechanically in this world. But we have to always use the descent, all those less than pleasant states. So we'll have a case, a reason to turn to the Creator and to ask of Him for correction. That's how we have to do it. So it's not important what's happening between us. We can correct it on the level of this world. If we can, we correct it. Together with that, we correct it by turning to the Creator, and then it will be corrected in spirituality, both the corporeality and the spirituality. Do not be satisfied with the corporeal correction. On the contrary, with each and everything, turn to the Creator, because this is really the main thing. And I have to rejoice because He gave us an opportunity.
Now we went through holidays like Hanukkah. We had this pause, this parking, and we measured our strength. We found the right line, the left line, the middle line. We checked the situation. And my question is, we feel that now there's this action called covenant of salt. How in the future, in the feeling in the heart, can we feel this work and do it for the sake of the Creator, with fear, in what is called lishma, for her sake? In short, how do we continue living?
How we continue to live? We have a triangle. Me, the group, the Creator. I need to live with them like that, with the help of the Creator to enter more into the group, with the help of the group to be connected to the Creator more. And that's how I should be, without rest. To live like this, to try. It's written, Israel, the light, the Creator are one. One time, the light or the Torah, one time to the Creator, but always either the group or the Creator, or the Creator, then the group. Constantly be between them. And if you will never leave them and constantly be between them, you will constantly advance.
Santiago.
Santiago.
Santiago de Chile.
Rab, hemos escuchado constantemente en las clases.
Have we heard all the lessons? And we heard that the prayer should not be for an individual, but in other cases, we heard that you answered a friend's question and you told him, if you need something, turn to the Creator. How can you reconcile these two answers?
So, to turn to the Creator, I turn to Him in order to unite with the group, or unite with the group in order to turn to the Creator. But always all three together. Always, all three of them together. Try, and you'll see that you are not coming out of this triangle. You're constantly in it. You have to check how it is in real life, but you will see. Meaning, the problem is that I don't turn to the Creator, and the group seemingly doesn't exist. No, I turn to the Creator so that the result will be in the group. I turn to the group so the result will be in the Creator. But these three things are always have to be connected as one. Sochi?
Мы хотели задать вопрос от женщин. Имеем ли мы право требовать от наших мужчин, чтобы они все заключили союз соли, зная, что это...
We wanted to ask, can we ask our men to create a covenant of salt? Because we women know that it will bring them into Arvut. And how should this covenant of salt be sealed or signed? Physically, or is it something internal?
The way I know life, a woman can turn to the Creator without words, only inside her heart. To such an extent, he wouldn't be able to tolerate it. It will be very difficult. Quietly, without opening her mouth even. So, in such a way, work between you, connect and turn to the men. And through the men to the Creator, you will see to what extent they will feel it, but not a single word need to come out from the mouth of a woman, only from the heart. Good luck. And the men, I'm certain they will do a lot of work, because that's how it's arranged. In reality, in the system, in spirituality, if a woman wants, the man has to do it. It's like Malchut and the first 9. So good luck to the women with their deficiency, and good luck to the men in fulfilling it. Maracay, Venezuela.
¿Cómo puedo valorar que un amigo está en descenso cuando siempre les debo ver como gigantes?
How can I see that a friend is in a descent when I should always see them as great? They're supposed to be a reflection of me. Can it be that I'm in a descent if I see them in a descent?
Oh, it doesn't matter. But I see him like that. I already have an opportunity to pray for him. That's it. I'm not making too many calculations. If I have an opportunity, I pray for the friend. And it's written, one who prays for his friend is rewarded first, answered first. Mexico?
Mexico, please.
Mexico, please.
Hola, Rab, amigos.
Hello, Rav, friends.
Nosotros algunas veces no parecemos entender todos lo mismo.
Sometimes we succeed in understanding what you're saying the same way, but there are all kinds of insights about what we're supposed to do or supposed not to do. Or friends here are working very hard with a huge desire. Can we make a covenant between us in this way, Rav?
Undoubtedly, if you want to advance, it's only if you sign a covenant between you that each one would help another. Because you cannot go up. Rather, it's always that some go down and some go up, some go down and some go up. And intermittently, with these ascents and descents in the work, in the group, you can rise. No other way. Otherwise, that's why you need to have a covenant. St. Petersburg. Peter.
Rav,
so we were talking about the covenant, and it's somehow connected to the spiritual memory. What is it and how does it work? Say, in the corporeal world, when we work with our memory, is there a connection between things?
מפני שיש לנו זיכרון קבוצתי,
Because we have a group memory, we are already at a state where the Creator is there, inside the group memory, inside the group. I dwell among my people. And that's why we have no problem. We will never forget about the covenant and our commitment. If we have a certain covenant, agreement, a certain circle, a certain commitment, we'll never fall together. And we'll never rise together. Rather, those will be down and those will be up, and we'll be constantly like waves in the sea. And in this way, we'll go up and we'll not forget about the covenant or the arvut or anything. If we agree between us that this is how we work, like this is what we're going to do, then from this moment on, all of us and the Creator enter this action and we advance towards the goal. The goal is that after all these ascents and descents, we come to a state where we come to the complete adhesion. Moscow?
In this Congress, we scrutinized very well among us the states of descent, what to do, how to respond, how to behave in these states. We also scrutinized the states of ascent, what to do, how to do, where to go. We didn't go but the neutral states and states of indifference. If I get a state of indifference, what should I do in that state? And how can the group tend to me?
When I'm in a state of indifference, we think that indifference is somewhere in the middle between ascent and descent. But it's not true. Indifference is below a descent, lower than a descent. Indifference means that I'm dead. The fact that I'm in these collisions, conflicts, angry, yelling, unhappy, it doesn't matter. I'm alive. When I'm in an ascent, I'm alive. But indifferent, I'm dead. So indifference is the lowest state. It's incorrect the way we see it, that there's a high, there's a low, and we're somewhere in the middle. No. In the middle, rather, when I'm indifferent to everything, I don't exist. I am dead. So we must see, must identify such states of indifference with the friends and shake them up in any possible way. Revive them, resuscitate them. How? You can take him out for a beer. You can sit with him and read something, read an article. You can obligate them to do something, and by that to help them come out of their state. Try anything. An indifferent friend is the worst. Even in our lives, our corporeal lives, and spiritual life is simply death.
Asia.
Hello, Rav. Hello, friends. Just a short question. What is the right way to let our friends know that we are in a descent without asking for ourselves?
אבל אני לא מבין מה הבעיה.
I don't understand what is the problem. If we are together in the system and you can't move forward unless you also move back, you know, Kabbalists say that it's like a wheel. Let's say we have a circle. The circle, right? How does it turn? So a part of the wheel goes forward, and a part of the wheel goes backwards. And that's why it turns. Can't be any other way. How do we climb? How do we rise? Using 2 feet, right? This is the foot that goes up, and this is the foot that goes down. That's how we go up the stairs, right? Yes or no? So, no choice. So, one is up, one is down. Because we are creatures, we're created beings. We need to be opposite the Creator and similar to Him. This is called dead. As much as I go down, to that extent, I can then go up. I go lower, I can go up higher. Only in this way. Descent and ascent, descent and ascent. And first the descent, then the ascent. Descent, then ascent. First, it was evening, then it was morning, one day. That's why, if we are partners or friends on the path, then your descent, my descent is like your ascent, and the other way around, because we need one another. So now I'm receiving a descent. You received an ascent. The important thing for us is the connection. The connection between us, this is the most important thing. And not who's in a state of ascent and who's in a state of a descent. These stages, these states are equal, completely equal, equivalent. There's nothing to be ashamed of. My descent is not less important to the group than your ascent. And even more, because without a descent, we cannot have any ascent. Because a descent is when I'm bringing the group a new will to receive. I discover a new desire to receive, and on top of it, we can rise and climb. So I have to discover that I'm in a descent, that I require the help, right? And how it happens there. Rabash writes, and then he will shout, he will cry out, help me, and his friends will help him, and will help him come out. He writes about it very nicely. And it says that a prisoner cannot break himself from prison. So we can never come out by ourselves. If a person gets out by himself, it's not spirituality. It doesn't contribute to himself nor to the society. It's not an ascent. An ascent is only when the group becomes more unified, more crystallized. Meaning when I descend, I allow the group to concentrate more, grow stronger, and that's how it goes, more and more, on top of the descents, on top of the additional desire to receive. What will we do now? Kaunas. Minsk. We didn't have Minsk. Minsk.
Rav, not long ago you said a person must not show a negative example, but be a positive example only. An example of bestowal. In this workshop, we talked about the friends being in a decline, and they're showing us a negative example. And by this, they help us. How do we continue to be king of bestowal in order to keep lifting the whole group? Is it even possible?
But how can you be a king of bestowal if you have no kingdom to rule? Where do you make yourself king? Specifically over those deficiencies and problems that appear. There we can see how great is the king, how important, how strong he is. Kiev woman.
Hello, Rav. The question is this: how can we avoid a situation where the acting out leads us to some emotional laziness.
Game brings us to emotional laziness. Why? I don't understand.
Заученные, уже готовые фразы. То есть вы нам даете очень много описаний состояний, и мы можем использовать только эти описания, не проживая их самим. То есть мы играем только, но не впускаем это в себя. И как сделать так, чтобы эта игра, чтобы мы не игнорировали это?
Чтобы? Не игнорировали игру.
If we won't make this game serious, won't take it seriously, we will not advance. We always advance from the game. It's written about all of creation that the Creator plays with the creatures. He is playing with the whale, Leviathan. All of it is a game. Game doesn't imply that it's not serious. A game means that we should always perform actions that are not serious and not desirable, because this is an action that I don't want to perform, but because I do it, I can later receive a reward. I gain something, I succeed. That's how we are. Therefore, all of creation is a game. It's not a game I work from within my will to receive, my healthy will to receive, my healthy intellect. This is not a game. This is life. It's the life of an animal. But if I want to be a man, I always need to be in a state of playing a game. New desires. You want something? What do you want? You know what you want? No, I only want. That's how I work. That's how I advance. We call it always faith above reason, the force of bestowal, which has no foundation in our world, more than the force of reception. And the fact that we try to act or to play inside a 10 is a beautiful structure, very good, we can play. They gave us the opportunity to play. For men, it's a little easier because men are always children. But for women, it's more difficult because women are more grounded. They're connected to reason and to the scrutiny for it to be clear and certain. But in spirituality, everyone has to rise above. If you can do it, please. If not, let the men help you. But spiritual advancement is in what we call faith above reason. Using slogans. We need these slogans we need to interpret them, crack them, then it will be fine. There's nothing to do. Chicago?
Hello, Rav. We have a question here from the group. You always told us in the past to play like we are in an ascent. If the group is to know that a friend is in a descent, then should that friend show his true state?
We had this question before. He needs to show that he needs help. I'll say it in this way. That he needs help because he's doing a favor to the whole group. The fact that you're asking means that you don't understand that both the ascents and the descents are equal. They're totally legitimate. Everyone needs them, and we need to take care of them equally, like in a family. It doesn't matter if it's an ascent or a descent, who's in this, who's in that. The important thing is that through them we rise. Only from the descent, meaning this is called from Zion, Torah will come out, meaning from these exits we come to the light. Think about it long and hard. I spoke about it a few times in this last hour. You'll need to hear this lesson a few times. Yoshkar Ola, woman.
Да так, посидим. Здравствуйте, мировой клей. Мы очень рады.
Hello, World Clay. We're very happy to ask a question today, and our group has this question, this difficulty, predicament. When there's a dissent, I have to be happy for the group. When I have dissent, I have to be happy that my situation is forcing them to exert. Won't this develop my ego? It's like as if I'm using the group.
I don't think that if you pray for the group and you care about the group, that by that specifically your ego grows. Inside is the will to receive, but it's not egoistic. It already assumes the form of bestowal. And then it's not the ego, it's the will to receive. A will to receive, a desire to receive, aimed for my benefit is the ego. The will to receive that is aimed for the other is not the ego anymore. It's a desire to bestow.
No. Valparaiso.
Valparaiso?
שומעים? לא שומעים.
We can't hear you. We can't hear them.
Lo siento, ahora sí. Okay.
Okay, now we can.
Rav, gracias. Rav, está escrito que para salir de un estado de
It's written that in order to emerge from a descent, we have to remember the covenant we made with the 10. Is this true only about a specific state or about all the states of descent in general?
You cannot come out of a descent if you don't remember the covenant, if you don't use it. A covenant means the connection between us. If you don't renew the connection between us, that can take you out from a descent to an ascent, then you're not coming out of a descent.
Rav, the question was about a covenant. Is it about a specific descent or about any descent?
What does it mean, any descent? You mean he lost money in the stock market? A descent means that he falls in spirituality. Falling in spirituality meaning that the creator, the group, become less important for him. So, to rise to the importance of the creator and the group is only possible through the covenant. And he can't do it by himself. Rather, the group must help him. And if he's doing it by himself, it's a sign that he has not advanced in spirituality. Rather, he made a few external corporeal actions that do not benefit spirituality. We need to try and that all of our actions, if you want them to be spiritual, they have to be inside the group and inside greater and greater connection in the group. So the group would connect more, would be more compressed. Then you can say that we've performed a spiritual ascent. For the time being, we're only in the preparation for such actions. You don't want to come to those actions to realize this action. And I hope that this time I explain it to you such a way that you have nowhere else to run to. And if yes, then there's nothing to do. New York.
Rav, we learned that there's no private providence towards an individual person. But how does the Creator relate to this one man called the World Group of Bnei Baruch?
זה אדם שנקרא אדם הראשון.
This is a man that is called Adam Arishon, this general vessel that is divided into a Rosh and a Guf. Rosh is all the Kabbalists, all the desires with the spark in them, which are Bnei Baruch, let's say, and this all belongs to the Rosh of the Parzuf of Adam. And the Guf is the rest of the people who have no tendency for it, but out of no choice, because of the great suffering they experience in the world, they connect also to Bnei Baruch, and then all the Kabbalists in all the generations and us are moving forward towards adhesion in the Creator, from love of the created beings to love of the Creator. And in this way we come to the end of correction.
Between the Creator and the group of Bnei Baruch?
Again, please.
Is there a special providence or relation between the Creator and the group of Bnei Baruch?
האם ישנה השגחה מיוחדת או קשר מיוחד בין הבורא לקבוצת בני ברוך?
ללא ספק.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. You can see it also, how it's happening to us, how as much as we advance, then more and more we open the wisdom of Kabbalah and we realize it. As much as the Creator is doing what we're saying, if 20 years ago, 10, 5, 3 years ago, it doesn't matter. Over the years we said that such and such will happen in the world. Why does it happen? Either we can see what will happen, or we speak and the Creator does. You can think one way or another, whatever is convenient for you. The important thing is to succeed, Seth.
China and Philippines. China and Philippines.
China and Philippines.
Please.
Good morning, Rav. Good day, friends. Worldly. My question is, how can one pray so that the group can be steadfast in holding on to the covenant? How can one pray so that the group can be steadfast in keeping and holding on to the covenant? תודה.
A person should work in two directions. He should give the group awakening, elation, an example of how he is praying to the Creator for the sake of the group, and pray to the Creator for the group in order to show the Creator that he's doing it for the group. So he needs to show what he's doing to the group and also show the Creator what he's doing, and to try to do it from the bottom of his heart. And you'll succeed. You'll see that it works. We just have to establish ourselves correctly, position ourselves correctly.
Latin America.
América Latina, adelante.
Buenos días, Rav.
Good day, Rav. What does it mean to work on the friend to take him out of indifference?
To ask the Creator to do it. The friend cannot emerge from apathy, from jail, let's put it this way, as it's written. I cannot do it. And even if I do it, it will not be an ascent to spirituality. Rather, I turn to the Creator for the Creator to do it. This is why all the work we do is called work of the Creator. Why the work of the Creator? Because we, in all of our works, in all of our states, should turn to the Creator and that He will do it. There's nothing I can do but pray, ask, turn to Him only. I have nothing else. No hands, no legs, no nothing. I have a desire, only a desire. And then I turn to the Creator to do it, that He will do it. And then my work is called the work of the Creator because I awaken the Creator to do it. This is called a righteous says and the Creator does. Who should I ask next? Oh, Bulgaria. Bulgaria.
Какого уровня должна достичь десятка, чтобы...
To what degree the 10 has to reach in order to stop feeling that the senses suffering, as torment? To what degree the 10 has to reach in order to stop feeling the senses suffering?
I don't think it has to be a degree. It has to be an understanding that a descent is for the purpose of ascending, that everything we receive is from the Creator, and therefore a person, even if he hasn't been rewarded with anything, he can be free. I'm in a world filled by the Creator, so I have nothing, but I'm in it. I'm in Him. So what? So I won't have anything. You know that to achieve spirituality, when do you achieve it? When you can give it up. When you can give it up. Because this is called in order to bestow. So we have to start letting go of all the pressures and to feel that we are inside of the Creator. But this does not free us of the obligation to exist and corporeality, to have a job, etc., to have a family and a job, etc. But with respect to the spiritual work, I am in the Creator. I have no problems. I do have problems in that I have to be a connector between the Creator and the created beings to bring the world to know where it is, what it's headed for, how it should advance. This is my concern, yes. But about myself, I have nothing to worry about. I'm in the Creator. That's it. It is really the descents, ascents, whatever state I go through, I'm going through it only in order to get to the end of correction. I have to see only that I have a 10. I'm dependent on it, and they determine all of my states. But if I'm in it, I'm in their hands, like a baby in its mother's hands. It doesn't think about anything. It's in her hands. It is the most secure state. This is how we have to feel ourselves in the group. If you don't feel that way, it means you don't have a covenant between you. Again, if you don't feel that you are in the hands of the group, like a baby in its mother's arms, it is a sign that you don't have a covenant. Talk about it and try to come to it. Because from that moment onward, you will be rewarded with a spiritual ascent. Orlando.
Rav, we've been here in this Congress since very early this morning, and you as well with us. Can you give us a status update? How do you, as it's ending, how do you think we have progressed? What do you think has occurred here between us?
Don Juan Rico.
Mr. Juan Rico, I've known you for how long? 15 years? I don't know how long. Why are you asking me where you advanced, where you didn't advance to? Now you have to check it among yourselves scrutinize it. Do you guys have a covenant between you or not? Only from the moment when you have a covenant, when you feel that you are truly dependent on one another, and you promise each other to see that no one falls from the spiritual feeling, and every drop is only so that you will raise the friends, and by that all of you will rise. Look, you have exactly 10. If you stay that way all the time, then it's just awesome. It's a piece of cake. But usually I just see you and another friend in the morning, and that's it. So make an effort. So, where are you? You are right before the making of the covenant. What we agreed on now in this lesson is that you, all the groups, small, big, women, men, everyone will try to establish a covenant, which is a commitment that we use every personal assent for the assent of the group, every personal dissent for the assent of the group. Everything will follow like a Winston bridge, like a current, where you straighten out the current, that both plus and minus go in the same direction. Like I drew, like the wheel that I drew, even if it looks like it's going backwards, it's actually going forward. So go ahead and agree among yourselves that you all connect to one another, that each day you know what situation the friends are in, and you use every state of a friend's spiritual state. You use it always in order to try and rise higher and higher and higher, the pluses and the minuses, the descents and the ascents, all of them. And each one prays for the others, and then everyone will rise, only together. It is a shame we've wasted so many years on hearing it, on listening. So we have to shift from words to actions. We have Italy. They don't have a question? No, I can't hear it. I guess not. If not, then we will go to Kiev.
Здравствуйте. Два вопроса от Киева.
Two questions from Kiev. We say that the group should work with a friend who is in a dissent. Moreover, someone who is in a dissent gives you a desire, and by that he helps you advance. On the other hand, we always say that the friend shouldn't show when he's in a dissent, but rather display joy and instill joy in the group. How can a group detect a state of dissent in the friend in order to work with it correctly? If the group regards the dissents like ascents, then no one will hide it. Everyone will say, guys, I got it, I got a dissent. We got it, a chance to ascend. A descent is like lifting up the left leg and then the right, then the left and the right. So we need a left as well, and we call the left a descent, but it's really an ascent. There needs to be an understanding, an atmosphere in the group that this is the only way we advance. And then it'll be no problem to any friend. What's to hide? What's to hide? On the contrary, it's an asset. If I got a descent and I can bring it to the 10. It's substance that we can use in order to ascend. Okay, Novosibirsk.
No, Kostya.
Kostya, go ahead. Or who is it there?
Вы уже много раз сегодня говорили по поводу левой и правой ноги.
You spoke many times today about the left leg, the right leg, that the group is both the right leg and the left leg, or that I toward the group and the left leg and it's the right leg, and vice versa. I'm the right, it's the left. Because if I'm in a descent, then I'll never feel both legs and have to feel both legs in order to be able to advance. So it's ascents and descents. So where are these states in the 10 itself? When I examine its situation in descent and ascent, my concern is that I'll constantly rise from these states. These states are in the 10. In the 10. When you're included in it, you will feel it. Istanbul. Istanbul.
Hello, Rav. Our question is, what would be our main motivation to stick to this covenant? Thank you.
Our motivation is to rise to the degree of the Creator. Every ascent can happen only through making the covenant, through the connection between us, and only by all of us getting descents. Sometimes he, or another person. And we constantly turn it into an ascent because we constantly save the friends from the jail, from the prison. And this is how we rise. That's it. Moscow.
Вопрос от женщины.
Question from the women. If a person has been learning for a long time and has gotten used to working with the descents independently, how should he redirect himself in order to bring them to the 10 in the group, and should he even do it? When a person has grown accustomed to working independently with descents, this is not spiritual work. It is not spiritual work. It is called standing still. It's also good, but it's still not a spiritual ascent. He understands more, he feels more, he's developing himself more. It's like a growing child. Up to, say, age 15, or maybe 20, 18. He's still not independent. He's not ascending. He's just functioning. A spiritual ascent, when he really becomes a grown-up, an adult, is only when he's included in the group, and through the group, he begins to emerge from all of his falls or descents. Tyumen. Question. If the whole world Kli makes a covenant, all the 10s, all the groups, all the friends, is that enough for the whole world to be corrected and for all the suffering to disappear? It doesn't even require the whole world Kli. Not even that. We are many. If even a part of us can be in this covenant, then we can already pull everyone else, the whole world, and we'll have to do it. We will have to do it. We are on the threshold of a very difficult situation in all the countries, all over the world, in every aspect. You probably know it all. And that situation will not go away by itself. It'll deteriorate more and more, and we have to feel responsible for everyone. So let's realize let's implement what we know. Not that we want to ascend to spirituality, but in order to save the world. And not because of the world, but in order to bring contentment to the Creator. Because specifically we are bringing all creations back to Him, to His level. Now we will hear song number 30.
גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, כל העולם כולו, גשר צר מאוד. גשר צר מאוד, והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. לי 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 לי
אז אנחנו חוזרים עכשיו על דבר הברית שהכלי העולמי, החברים מהכלי העולמי סיכמו עליו.
So now we're going back to the covenant that the friends agreed on in the break before the lesson. Item number 1. We agree that the connection to the friend is above everything else. Item number 2. I pledge not to miss morning lesson, and the 10 will compel me to be there every day. Item number 3. We are showing and giving love to one another and can demand it from the friends. Item 4. The focus on the goal must always be before our eyes. Item 5. We agree to look for there is none else besides him in the 10. Item 6. In every 10, there's a friend on duty who reminds the 10 about the greatness of the goal and the greatness of bestowal. So we are indeed going to keep all of these commitments, and I hope that those who are in it will see how specifically through the covenant within the connection, in the connection between us, we will begin to discover the Creator soon in our days. Amen. So good luck, and I am waiting for you just as it is now when we had 130 groups, 2,500 individuals, and more and more and more. I'm waiting for you guys in the lesson tomorrow. Good luck. Good luck to us in the next congresses, in the coming congresses.
כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד
נעבור לניו יורק.
Moving on to New York.
ואנחנו עוברים לניו יורק.
We are moving on to New York. New York.
Everyone? No. Yes. Everyone, we'd like to